Nigeria has the potential to become a major player in the global economy by virtue of its human and natural resource endowments. However, this potential has been relatively untapped over the years. After a shift from agriculture to crude oil and gas in the late 1960s, Nigeria's growth has continued to be driven by consumption and high oil prices. Previous economic policy left the country ill-prepared for the recent collapse of crude oil prices and production. The structure of the economy remains highly import-dependent, consumption-driven, and undiversified. Oil accounts for more than 95% of exports and foreign exchange earnings, while the manufacturing sector accounts for less than 1% of total exports. Nigeria's economy grew by 2.7% in 2015, significantly below its growth of 6.3% in 2014, since the fall in oil prices in mid-2014. With this trend, Nigerian economy continues to face serious macroeconomic challenges until it hit recession for the first time in decades.
It's not been easy trying to survive in this country, especially at this moment. It's pretty difficult. I think it's more on the salary earners because their salary somehow is constant, and the astronomical rise in prices of food items is not in any way favoring them. The business people are a little bit more advantaged than the salary earners because theirs is fixed. While as a businessman, you can always adjust your prices the way you get the things in the market. As a salary earner, it's difficult for you to adjust to suit the market's demand. But then way forward, I think as an import-dependent economy, we are far from getting out of this. You know, it's not an event; it's a process we have to start today. But then, I don't think industrialization will take place without availability of electricity. That is a fact.
This is attributed to a series of shocks, including the continued decline in oil prices in the global market, foreign exchange shortages, disruptions in fuel supply and sharp reduction in oil production, power shortages, and insecurity in some parts of the country, as well as low capital budget execution rate. Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) increased the monetary policy rate to 14% from 11% in 2015 to attract capital inflow and control upward ticking inflation. The Apex Bank has since then maintained all key rates, saying the economy is still fragile for any changes.
We are very conscious of the fact that there's a need to bring interest rate down, but we think that we are not there yet. Because if we reverse the trend, or if we do what most people expect, the truth is that it may, I don't want to say would, it may reverse the gains that we have so far achieved in exchange rate stability and even in the moderation of inflation.
Though Nigeria's recovery is firming up, according to recent data released by NBS, growth in second quarter of 2017 was unpinned by a stronger oil industry and another quarter of tepid expansion in the non-oil sector. Oil production averaged 1.84 million barrels per day in second quarter, up substantially from first quarter.
Our production has gone from the all-time low of about 1.1 million barrels a day up to about 1.7, 1.75, stringing upwards. And then the condenses obviously have also picked up. So we've done quite some good job of trying to manage this. Now, it's not yet Uhuru. We continue to have those sort of challenges and threats. We need to consistently continue to address the problem and keep the engagement going. But provided we can do that, I think we're making a good success of it.
However, this positive trend could be reversed by the tensions which continue to rumble in the oil and gas sector in the Niger Delta region. Aside from uncertainties in the oil industry, there are encouraging economic signs so far in the third quarter, and the PMI reached a multi-year high in August thanks to a robust domestic market and strong growth in output and new orders.
Yeah, for 57 years now, I think God has been faithful. Despite the economic recession, I believe Nigerians are still happy, hopefully praying that there will be a change for good. because everybody is negatively affected in the economy.
The difference between being a country and being a nation. We're supposed to be celebrating nationhood at 57, but instead we're just left with celebrating being a country at 57, which that is just what it is, geographical location and all that. And that just goes to say that we are not where we are supposed to be, being a nation. Not just be the whole, let's be patriotic and let's be united thing. It's about things like infrastructure, opportunity for young people and everything. We are still far off. The indices, our health indices and human life sciences are still very low and very poor. So yes, we celebrate that we're a country, but that's just it. There's nothing else left to celebrate. We don't have any other thing. It's just surface to what I've been saying already before. These things need work. The economy is always a very difficult thing to take up on, even developed nations too.
The Central Bank of Nigeria unified some parallel exchange rates in a bid to simplify the forex system, although a significant gap between the official and interbank rates remains. And analysts are skeptical if CBN intervention in the forex market can be sustained. In looking for a way forward, the federal government, in its effort to stabilize the dwindling economy, launched Nigeria Economic Recovery and Growth Plans, ERGP.
Economic recovery and growth plan brings together all our sectorial plans for agriculture and food security, energy and transport infrastructure, industrialization and social investments together in a single document. It builds on the strategic implementation plan and set out an ambitious roadmap to return the economy to growth and to achieve a 7% growth rate by 2020. Our aim, simply put, is optimize local content and empower local businesses. We seek not just to take the Nigerian economy out of recession, but to place it on a path of sustained, inclusive, and diversified growth.
With the exit from recession in the third quarter, drop in consumer price index and the appreciation of the naira in the past few weeks compared to what is obtained in the first quarter of 2017, many may have begun to see a light at the end of the tunnel, but some say it may not yet be uhuru for the Nigerian economy. Elizabeth Williams, Lovewood Plus.